What's up and welcome back, Trey Reacts family, as I'm bringing y'all a video by Ringside Stories from the boxing match that just recently happened this past weekend between Canelo Alvarez and Dmitry Bivol. I just reacted to Dmitry Bivol versus Pascal, I want to say about 2 weeks ago on my video. I'm going to tag it in the timestamp right here. So go back and watch that and see what I said about Dmitry Bivol. I'm not surprised that he won. I'm just in awe how he dismantled Canelo Alvarez. And you know, Canelo Alvarez is supposed to be one of the top pound for pound. I still think he is, but it just makes you see it from a different perspective. And shout out to Tommy Guns and Inori Chan. Their channel is gonna be tagged right here on whatever side. Y'all go subscribe to them because they love comments in my video. And like I just said, we're gonna get straight into the reaction. So let me go small screen, slide over here. And again, this is the analysis and 5 takeaways from the fight.
First of all, I want to say thank you everyone for coming. Feliz 5 de Mayo.
Hey, what's going on, Ringsiders? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks so much for your support in advance, and welcome to the channel. Dmitry Bivol holds on to his WBA Super World title at light heavyweight, winning a close yet unanimous decision over Canelo Alvarez, moving the Russian's record to 20-0. I will give credit to Canelo for taking up, in my opinion, the toughest challenge at 175 for all of the reasons mentioned in previous videos. Now let's take a closer look at this fight, as this is Ringside Stories post-fight analysis, aka the Bivol-Canelo breakdown. 5 takeaways from Dmitry Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez. Let's get into it. Number 1. This is boxing.
Es un buen peleador, entra, sale. Yeah, so he's a really good fighter. He's a fighter that comes in, goes out. I also felt his power, but I think it was a good fight. You know, it was a good victory for him. You win or lose, that's sport, and that's what happens.
If you play the numbers game long enough, you'll eventually take a loss, especially when it comes to boxing. Although a loss can hurt a fighter's stock, it's more about the fashion in which you lose. Canelo is still the undisputed king at super middleweight, who just challenged a legit world champion in his fighting prime, with most of the physical advantages stacked against him, fighting outside his natural weight class.
57-2 and what is it? Two draws that Canelo got is still crazy for his stat line, for his record. Not stat line, I'm sorry.
But even with this loss, Canelo can still choose whoever he wants to fight, as he still is boxing's cash cow. One elite level fighter beat another elite level fighter, who most likely wins again in an immediate rematch.
And thank you.
Honestly, I feel like Dmitry Bivol, I don't want to shoot the gun too fast, but I feel like I might catch flack for this. He could put Canelo Alvarez down. We got to add right now, but I might catch flack for me saying this. Dmitry Bivol might put him down.
$6,495 from this. Doesn't end like this.
Props to Team Canelo for willing to pursue greatness and taking on this difficult fight against Dmitry Bivol, but since he is still boxing's cash cow, Canelo can still choose whoever he wants to fight. Even outside the Bivol rematch, Team Canelo has many options to explore, many big fights
Triple G.
that can be made. Number 2, Stylistic Nightmare. Dmitry Bivol proved how Canelo is still bothered by good movers with solid boxing skills. Even as recent as the Caleb Plant fight, these issues showed up. Sweet Hands just lacked the punching power, lacked the experience at the elite level to trouble Canelo. Also, in his first move up to light heavyweight, Canelo struggled with an aging and past his best version of Sergey Kovalev before knocking him out in the 11th. Against Kovalev's countrymen, however, on May 7, 2022, Canelo Alvarez had zero answers to Bivol's fast hands, movement, and the ability to adjust in fight. The keys for Dmitry Bivol in this fight were his jab, which is a testament to the Russian's understanding of gauging, manipulating, and creating distance, and using his counter hooks. In an attempt to set the pace and a bit uncharacteristically, Canelo Alvarez started fast in the first quarter of the fight, which, regardless of how you scored them, by far were his best rounds in the Bivol-Canelo fight. Then after the
I looked at the
round,
scoring card.
Dmitry Bivol took over, which had Canelo on the back foot against the ropes, frustrated and eventually visibly fatigued in the championship rounds.
Yeah, he's frustrated.
Canelo showed great defensive moves, but that was in response to Bivol's formidable attacks. Also, the Russian displayed tremendous discipline.
Like I said in my previous video of me reacting to Bivol, I did say he has a very sharp jab.
Unnecessary slugfest. Unfazed by the occasion, unfazed by the pro-Canelo crowd during Cinco de Mayo weekend, Bivol proved how boxing experience, self-control, self-belief can get you a long way in boxing.
My last fights, I didn't enjoy it in the fight because it wasn't the challenge for me. I just defend my titles against some guys and everyone bet on me. And now I was enjoying the fight and I saw how, and I heard a lot of fans was yelling, you know, and it's motivated me today, and I really enjoyed today the fight.
Sticking to the game plan, sticking to a skill set that have historically bothered Saul Canelo Alvarez, which gave Dmitry Bivol this somewhat historical victory.
Right now, what a night for him. Dreamed of this night, got the opportunity, and becomes a true great tonight, beating the pound for pound #1.
Number 3, Bivol versus Canelo's facts. All 3 judges gave the first 4 rounds to Saul Canelo Alvarez, not only giving the challenger a generous lead, but also forcing Bivol to win the 12th round in order to actually win the fight officially. From that point of view, the official 115-113 score, which is how all 3 judges scored the fight, is an outstanding feat for the undefeated Bivol, as he went up against not just the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, but also all the politics and all the favoritism that is siding with the Mexican superstar. In reality, Bivol outboxed, out-hustled, and outclassed Canelo. Keep in mind, Canelo is a fighter who relies on high-quality punches, having a low punch output. Now, if you're not convinced by what took place during Bivol versus Canelo based on the eye test, just take a look at CompuBox final punch stats. What stands out the most? A. Saul Canelo Alvarez only landed a total 84 out of 495 punches during the entire fight with a 17% connect rate, which for a low-volume fighter like Canelo is extremely inefficient. Whereas Dmitry Bivol landed 152 out of 710 punches with a 21% connect rate. B. Canelo landed just 10 jabs in the entire fight with a 4% connect rate, meaning Canelo's jab was non-existent in the Bivol fight. Bivol, who as a boxer-puncher relies heavily on the jab, scored 46 out of 418 jabs, effectively beating Canelo in this department.
As he should, because he has the distance
Canelo
on
Alvarez
Canelo.
landed 74 power punches, connecting at just under 28%, which proves Canelo was trying to hit Dmitry Bivol pretty much with power punches exclusively.
Maybe his mistake, he threw only hard punches. After hard punches, he relaxed and tired.
Bivol, on the other hand, landed 106 out of 292 power punches, which is over 1/3 of his total power punches. That means Dmitry Bivol was the more accurate, doing the more damage of the two. So the judges made it look close. However, based on the eye test and certainly based on CompuBox final punch stats, Bivol versus Canelo was not close. And had this not been boxing's cash cow, Dmitry should have won by a landslide. Fact is, Canelo did get hit by some of Bivol's fast hands.
And Bivol in this fight, from the stuff I seen on Twitter, again, he was not on the ropes as much as Caleb Plant was in Canelo and Plant's fight.
I can keep my belt now. Vadim, please.
Download the Domino's app today
Another
and
app.
become a piece of the pie.
But yeah, like I said, when Canelo and Plant fought, Canelo had Plant on the ropes a lot in that fight.
Echo Park Automotive.
Which proves Saul Canelo Alvarez did do some damage against Dmitry Bivol, albeit without any satisfying results. Although the Mexican pound-for-pound great has proven to be opponent puncher in the past, Dmitry Bivol already showcased his durability as a 25 pro boxer. In fact, the WBA light heavyweight world champion has taken little to no damage in his pro career so far. And when he did take a shot a few years back, Bivol recuperated fairly quickly. Conventional wisdom would declare that if Bivol could take a punch from a bigger man, man who is a legit 175-pounder and a current world champion, then taking a punch from a naturally smaller man who's moving up in weight isn't going to be that big of a deal. And clearly, Dmitry Bivol was the fresher man in the 12th round, unlike his Mexican opponent. So again, credit to Team Canelo for seeking greatness, for their man testing his skills and faith outside his natural weight class. That said, Team Canelo has to consider their next moves carefully. Dmitry Bivol looked fresh as a daisy, and if that rematch would happen next, he knows he can beat Saul Canelo Alvarez. Every fighter has a ceiling, even a pound-for-pound level great such as Canelo, and he might just hit his ceiling at light heavyweight, knowing that he has held the title in this weight class before. And so, in my opinion, an immediate rematch against Dmitry Bivol will end up in the same fashion. Maybe the pride is damaged, maybe wisdom should prevail and make the sensible decision by moving down to his optimal weight class at 168 pounds. Number 5. What's next? Even with a loss, Canelo Alvarez can still defend his titles at
Triple G. Canelo and Triple G need to happen.
Gennady Golovkin. Since Triple G just came off a stoppage win in a successful world title unification match and Canelo took a loss, the public opinion may sway towards a 50-50 fight, which in my estimation makes the Canelo-Golovkin trilogy not only the biggest fight, but also the fight that makes the most sense for Canelo Alvarez, just from a practical perspective of getting back in the
I've seen in like a couple other YouTubers.
Jamal Charlo are still talked about, yet are still unproven and
Jamal Charlo
especially
kind of
at the
nice,
elite level. Or if the
and Benavidez is too. We're going back to Canelo.
What are the odds? Canelo fancies his
I want to say Blue Bloods Boxing was talking about Canelo versus Triple G, and he said this version of Triple G can beat this version of Canelo can beat Triple G,
regardless of his loss to Dmitry Bivol. As for the WBA Super 175 World Champion, apart from a second fight with Canelo, which will give Bivol payday, there is the ultimate consolidation to consider at 175. And coming fresh off a win over the pound-for-pound best in the world, having established himself as the second best light heavyweight with a win over WBO champion Joe Smith Jr., that leaves fellow Russian Artur Beterbiev, who holds the majority of the light heavyweight world titles, especially if he successfully unifies against Joe Smith Jr. Stylistically, Beterbiev versus Bivol is a match made in heaven between two undefeated world champions from Russia. One is a relentless yet intelligent pressure fighter, having won all of his 17 professional fights by knockout with his age, has been floored a few times, yet who offers fireworks every single time he steps into the ring.
I might have to react to him. I've never heard of him.
Controls the range with a deadly accurate jab, who moves elegantly yet efficiently, and has proven his technical and tactical brilliance against arguably the best fighter in the world pound for pound. By the way, if you want to see a potential Beterbiev versus Bivol matchup, let's get today's episode to 350 likes, and we'll get you to see that video here on Ringside Stories ASAP. Props to Canelo Alvarez for taking a chance and battling a formidable opponent outside of his preferred weight class. Congratulations to Dmitry Bivol for a great performance and a career-defining win. These are just my observations, my 5 takeaways from Dmitry Bivol versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. What are yours? Who do you like to see both fighters in with next? Let us know in the comments below.
Well, that's going to be the end of their video, kind of, sort of. But again, shout out to Ringside Stories. I like the 5 takeaways from the video from Bivol versus Canelo. And, you know, you had a lot of good, interesting points. And I would love to see Canelo versus Triple G, because I know that's a fight everybody wants to see, as well as Jamal Charlo. I want to see him and Benavidez go at it, but we're not talking about them right now. But at the same time, do y'all think, my question to my family, do y'all think that Canelo versus Bivol again will end in a knockout win for either Bivol, or would you think it's going to end in a majority draw, or do you think Canelo have a possibility of winning? Let me know down in the comments, because I really want to know, because I'm interested in finding out. But again, family, like I said, that's going to be the end of my video. Please follow me on my Instagram right here at treyreacts, as well as follow me on my main page, and let's be friends and let's be mutuals at Trey versus Dre 30, as well as mess with me on my TikTok page right here at Trey303023, and my business email is gonna be right up here, somewhere up here. And like I said, I'm gonna have all the timestamps, all my videos up there. Y'all go watch all my videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, as well as turn on the post notifications so you never miss another upload of hearing my voice and seeing my face.